What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Reddit series. Now, in this series, what I like to do is go on Reddit, look up the subreddits, and look for a particular topic I feel can really help people out. So I go for the ones that are upvoted in hopes to help hit the masses, to help you hopefully address particular issues you may be dealing with in your life, and give you some perspective, give you some tools, just give you my viewpoint, give you my advice to help you combat this or give you a new perspective that can help you solve your particular issue at hand. And as always, I already pre-selected the question here. So let me actually go ahead and pull this up for you guys. And this is what I got is I can't apply myself to fill my dreams and hobbies because of feelings of self-doubt and not being good enough. I am a highly skilled individual, like most of us are. As the title says, I am finding it very difficult to push past feelings of self-doubt, feeling of not being good enough or not knowing enough. And as a result, I've created complete mental and physical blocks towards doing what I want to do. But honestly, I have the skills to do everything I want to do, but I still can't bring myself to even try. It's very frustrating. I absolutely have what it takes and more. I just get full of anxiety and self-doubt, feeling whatever I think about actually doing these things or anything to progress my dreams. I feel like I quit all of my creative hobbies because it feels more enjoyable not doing them because of how hard it is to push through those things. Now, this is a good question, essentially because of the fact we've all been there. Even myself, these are many things I've questioned myself before doing Discover Ignite, before going off on my own, before doing all these other different things. You're going to have self-doubt. I still continue to have self-doubt in some things. This is why I talk about you got to expand that comfort zone all the time. You can't let it retract. When you let it retract, you're kind of going back to the same situation. You have to essentially reignite that spark to get you to go back out and doing it. Now from this, you're skilled in something particular, right? You have some sort of value you want to share with the world, whatever that is. I don't know what exactly you're going for here. If you're trying to create a YouTube channel, trying to write a book, trying to perhaps showcase a skill to teach people, right? We all have something there. We all have value somewhere in our lives that we can help share and possibly create a business or whatever the case is out of that thing. Being said, I understand too that a lot of times it's easier to just push it off. And we have to remember that we condition ourselves to do specific things. We've conditioned ourselves to push a lot of things off, and that's why we are in the situation that we're in. We have to uncondition ourselves by pushing through the challenges, through self-doubt, through not knowing enough, right? That's one of the biggest things. And one of the biggest things when I first started out doing YouTube, doing podcasting, doing these different things, is that I always have self-doubt. And some days I have self-doubt a lot more than other days. It's not saying it completely goes away. Now I'm more confident when I do because I have a track record of continuing to maintain that comfort zone, which once never existed. But now that I am consistent with it and continue to do it, I maintain that zone. And so being said, you do fall back on self-doubt and feelings. You got mental, physical blocks. Yes, it's not. When it comes to mental and physical blocks, I think more where you're standing at there is the thoughts and ideas of judgment. And that's always something big, especially if you are trying to put your thoughts and ideas out there, whether it's through social media, through the book, whatever the case is. It is tough because you don't want to be judged. And then you also bring into the mix if you have a job, if you have any other things, family, friends, whatever the case is, people are going to look at you and they're going to give you your opinion, whether you want it or not. And so you have to be okay with judgment. People are going to say you don't know enough. People are going to say, well, what gives you the right to, right? These things always happen. But if you need to understand, you need to be confident in who you are. And building confidence is not something that's easy. It takes a long time to build confidence. And to build confidence, What you need is consistency in building yourself out. And I talk about this all the time, that you have to, you're not going to get some place from here to there overnight. You're not going to reach your goals overnight. That's never going to happen. We are fed an idea and a thought, like the lottery and all these other different things, that one day you're just going to wake up and you're going to have it. Or one day I'm just going to know enough and I'm going to execute on it. Or one day I'll get to this point, I'll have enough money, then I can break away and do this and do that. One day never comes. You have to build yourself up to those things that you see, to those things that you idolize, to those things that motivate you, and those people that motivate you, and those people you look up to, those people that you admire. They didn't get there overnight. They pushed their way that way. Even myself, right? Even as a young kid, I realized that I wasn't going to get what I wanted unless I actually put myself out there. And maybe just because of the way the cards fell in my life, I was always bullied. I was always pushed to do more. And so I realized that I had to speak up. I realized that I had to take action on my own, or it was going to continue to happen. Maybe that's where I got it from. But I started at a young age, and that's how I continued to push myself. And then there would be times in my life where I got complacent and I fell into this loop where I got out of shape, and where I lost my comfort zone, and I didn't allow myself to push further. And I hit a spot and things are good. I lost it. I've taken 2 steps back. I pushed through it again. I persevered. Persevering and realizing and being aware that you're going to have setbacks, that it doesn't 100% go away. But what I always talk about, having a mentality about being happy, about being in flow, about living a life that you enjoy. It's about maintaining that state of mind. And that is it. It's not about attaining the house or the car or skill or all these other different things. It's about maintaining a state of mind. And can you maintain that state of mind? Because it takes work. It takes a lot of work initially, but you take baby steps to get there. Then when you build it up, when you build up your confidence to building yourself, right? It's something I talk about. You have to build who you are. And that is defined by the actions that you take, not past events, past choices. That's not who you are today. You dictate your direction by the choices that you make. So you have mental blocks. Dictate the direction of where you go in the rewiring of your brain by making different choices, by being aware of exactly what you're doing, and stop procrastinating in that choice and just do it. And I know a lot of times it's easier to say to just do it. You have to find a trigger that says, okay, I'm aware that I'm starting to come up with excuses, and just go through with the action. Just follow through with the action right then and there. The quicker you do it, the more you don't procrastinate, the more you practice, you realize it becomes easier and becomes normal for you to be able to start doing this. And then you realize you start building confidence the more you do this, right? You build small to make big, dramatic, impactful changes in your life. And this is why anything happens, right? Things aren't just going to come again overnight. And you may have the skills. Maybe you feel like you aren't quite there yet. You have to realize that nobody is ever quite there. Skills are never always there, right? And you have to realize that you have to be a practitioner to understand that even though a lot of things that you think you know, or you may have theories on or have studied on, if you are not practicing them consistently, right, they are not really what they are, right? And what I mean by that is that you have to put them in practice, because a theory does not fly, ultimately is what I'm saying. You can read about something, but you have to apply it to actually see how it works. But being said, when you put things into practice, it makes things so much easier. It makes you to allow you to execute anytime you do need to execute on making the choices. You are aware of the choices you need to make, and you start executing. So I know it can be very frustrating, but it is only up to you. No one is going to tell you something. No one is going to push you to do it. You have to make that choice. You have to be the one that does it. You have to be aware of what you're doing, be conscious of it, and perhaps even do some, not affirmations, but perhaps do some visualizations of you in that particular choice. Every time you come to that choice, that you actually choose the right choice, and rehearse that day in and day out, perhaps twice a day, until you get it down, until you start making the choice to where you're actually going through with these things. Because talk is one thing, theory is one thing, action is the biggest thing that's going to get you to where you are. So don't ever talk about it, don't ever discuss about the things that you plan on doing. Take the action instead of trying to look for validations, instead of trying to feel like, yes, well, I could do it, but I'm just not going to do it, and just do it.